Welcome all. In this video of C programming, we are going to learn structure. Here we are going to see the definition of structure, syntax, how we can define structure, and some of the examples of structure. So let's start with the definition of structure. Before going for definition of structure, we need to know little bit about array. What does the array? What array can do and what structure can do? The difference we need to find out or we need to know. As we know, students, in C programming, a single variable can hold a single value. At first we came to know about this concept. Thereafter we came to know that array is the data type or array is the data structure which can hold many values of similar type, in a single variable. Then now we are learning of structure. So what the advantages is there in structure? Let's see. Advantages of structure is what? Now it can hold many values of different types. I am repeating, many values of different types in a single variable. Fine. So let's go with the definition. Array allows to define type of variables that can hold several data items. See, I told you before, many items or many values. So that is what several data items of same kind means all integer can be kept in a single variable, all character can be kept in a single variable, and so on. Similarly, what the structure does, structure is another user-defined data type available in C that allows to combine the data items. So in this case, we saw several data items of similar type, means same kind. In this case, combined data items. Combined data items means two integer, one character, two float. We can combine together and can keep in structure variable. So structure has the ability of creating a such type of variable who can hold many kind of data type together. It means in a structure variable, not only we can keep an integer, but also we can keep some other type of data. Let's go for the second paragraph. Structure in C is a user-defined data type that enable us to store the collection of different data types. Structure is a user-defined data type. So, as we know before in data type video that there was 5 different kind of inbuilt data type supported by C. So, structure allows us to create our own type of data type. Structure allows us to create our own data type. So that is what user defined data type. So each element of structure is called member. The content, the variables which we are going to declare inside the structure is nothing but known as member, students. Fine. So the any kind of member we can take inside a structure. So structure, when we declare a structure, we can declare many different kind of variables. There is no such rules for that. We can define many types of variable in a structure, and thereafter we can create the variable of that structure type. So here one more thing I can say you that a variable of structure type is known as object. Fine, let's continue. Here one example is given. Structure are used to represent a record. Why? The structure can keep different type of values. So that's why we can say it can represent a record. So what is record? See all of you. Suppose we want to store to keep track of a student record from college. Suppose there is a college and we want to find out or we want to store a record, means some of the data for a student. A record is nothing but collection of data. I am repeating, record is nothing but collection of data. A student have what data, students? A student can have roll number, name, class, address, phone number. So these 5 data a student suppose have, and they belongs to different type of data type. Roll number is integer type, name, class, address they are character type, phone number is long type. So all these different type of data can be assigned, can be declared within a structure. So the structure variable will have the ability of holding all these type of data. Okay, so this is what the definition and introduction we saw about structure. Now let's see the syntax, how we can declare a structure, how we can define a structure. So to define a structure, we must use struct statement. So struct is a keyword. In C programming language, we know there are 32 keywords. There are 32 keywords. So out of those 32 keywords, struct also one keyword which allows us to create structure. Fine. The struct statement define a new data type with more than one member. So there can be many member in a structure as I have given you here in the syntax if you noticed. Okay, so how the syntax is? Now the structure will start with the keyword struct, struct. Then after giving a gap, we have to specify the name of the structure. Then curly bracket and curly bracket we need to end. Then inside this curly bracket, inside the body of the structure, we have to declare whatever the variables we supposed to keep in a structure. Then there will be a semicolon sign at end which will notify that the structure get ends here. The body of the structure get ends here. So this is how a structure can be defined. Now the next thing we can learn like example. So how the example is defined here, all of you please notice. So struct employee. So here I try to create one structure, one user defined data type in the name of employee. So struct, the keyword I wrote, then I wrote employee. So here employee become the structure. Fine. Inside this employee structure, I kept three variables of different type. One I kept here integer, one I kept character array, and one I kept float. Fine. So the integer variable is id. Fine. Like roll number, character name of 20. So this is an array variable. The variable is character type and it has the capable of holding 20 characters in it. Then there is a salary variable of float type. Then I put it here semicolon to lock the structure or to end the structure. Now let's see how in memory the allocation will be done. Fine. So you see here, if you check the diagram, the picture, you can see there are three partitions. So the first partition is written as int id. So int is an integer data type. So in this case, they have written that 4 bytes it will occupy. Integer is occupying 2 bytes, we know before, but in this case they have given that integer is occupying 4 bytes. Fine, no problem. So if the starting byte will be 1000, obviously the ending byte will be 1004, 1004, as 4 bytes it is occupying. The next from 1005, the location will be allocated for whom? For character, and that also up to how many character? 20 character. Fine, 20. So here they have given the example of 10. 10. So we can take 20 blocks here. So starting from 1004 till 1014. So all 10 characters will be stored here. Fine, it will be written here like all the name what you have taken for the students will be written here. By mistake I made here 20, it has to be 10 here. Okay, thereafter float salary. Salary is a float data type and float occupies 4 bytes of memory location. So you check here 4 bytes. So each block is 1 byte. Each block is 1 byte. Fine. So this will be from 1014 till 1018. Hope all of you understood. Here the calculation is given. So altogether, the structure variable which I am going to teach you will hold how many bytes? 18 bytes. How come? Now this is suppose 4 bytes. 10 bytes and 4 bytes. So we got 18 bytes. Suppose we took integer as 2 bytes. So 2, 10 and 4, it will become 16 bytes. Fine. Hope all of you understood the concept, like how the syntax and how the example of the structure can be given in C programming language and how it is allocating in memory as well. Next, let's see. So see the variable of a structure type. So in our previous slide, we saw that how we can define the structure, what is the your syntax of the structure. Then we saw what is an example of structure, how it is allocating the memory. Now let's see how we can declare the variable of a structure type. These are not the variable of the structure type. These are the members of structure. Fine. Let's learn how to declare the variable of structure type. See, there are two ways we can declare a variable of structure so that we can access the member of structure easily. The members of structure are who? These are the member. There are three members here written: int, id, character, name, float, salary. So they are the member. How can we access this member? How can we use this member? Using the variable of structure. So for creating the variable of structure type, there are two ways. Here it is written, there are two ways to declare structure variable. That is, one is struct employee e1, e2. So it means here struct is the keyword and employee is the structure name. E1 and E2 are the object of structure. Fine. Or variable of structure type. There are two variables I have taken. Same way, if we want to declare the variable at the time of defining the structure. So in this case, we can write E1 and E2 simply in spite of writing all this. And this particular line in the first step, what it is given, that line we need to write within main function. If structure is kept, if the structure is defined outside the main function, then we can go for this particular line. Okay, don't worry, I am going to show you this practical. Okay, now accessing the member of structure. How can we access the values kept in the structure or the variables which we stored inside the structure? So there are two ways. One is using dot operator, that is member or dot operator. So in this case, our structure variable is E1 and E2. So we can write E1.id. E1.id, why? Because id is the variable here I use. So E1.id I can write. If I want to use it via pointer, structure to pointer, so in that case, in place of dot, I have to use arrow operator, that is pointer operator. In that case, how can I write? Now E1 arrow id, which we are going to learn later. Okay, so now let's go for the programs. Let's go for the programs to get more explanation about structure. So let's see a simple example here. So I'm creating a structure, a simple structure inside the main function, and thereafter one more I will create outside the main function. So let's see, struct struct sum, the name of the structure I'm taking as sum, and inside this I'm creating two integer variable, and one more for finding the total, and one more for average that I'm taking as float. Fine. So it means four variable I'm taking here. Then closing the structure here or creating the variable here for structure type, that is S1. So this is how inside the main function we can create the structure variable. So structure is sum. Inside the structure variable, I'm having four data types, four variables of integer 3 type and one float type, and the structure variable or the object of structure is S1. It means S1 is going to use A, B, total and average. Okay. So now let me specify the value for the variable A. So how can I specify? I have to take always the help of S1. So I have to write S1 dot A equal to, I can provide any number. Fine. Same way S1 dot B equal to any number. Then S1 dot equal to S1 dot A plus S1 dot B. So this is how we can find out the total. Same way average. So S1 dot average. So every time I have to take the help of the structure variable or object, that is S1. So TOT divided by 2. So I got the result, then let's print it. So printf, then we can print here total. Let use a slash n, then you can print total hyphen %d comma s1 dot tot semicolon, copying and pasting for what? Now for average. So average %f, let do s1 dot avg I am making. Okay, let compile the program, run the program. So as the values already we have defined, so directly it's supposed to show the answer. So answer is 88 and 44.0, the average. Fine. So here in this case, this example is explaining us that how can we declare a structure within the main function. Now in the same program with the same concept, I am trying to keep the structure outside the main function and showing you. Okay. So let's make the comment here that simple example of structure within main function. Fine. So this is the first one. Now next one, let's try simple function with structure outside main function. Outside main function. So now in this case, what I have to do, I have to cut the entire content and I have to keep it outside the main function. So here I made the structure sum, then the variables I'm just keeping them properly so that better you can understand. Now closing the variable there, closing the structure there by putting the semicolon. Now as the structure stay outside the main function, now I have to create the object by writing struct, then name of the structure, then the variable name, that is S1. Fine. The rest of the things are similar only as before. Now we can compile and can check. See the same result it is showing. Only difference was in previous case I kept the structure definition inside the main function, and in this program I kept the structure definition outside the main function. Fine. So this is both the way of doing or declaring the structure variable or defining structure. So the next question, students, we will try the question I am writing here, like input marks of five subjects of 3 students, and 5 subjects of 3 students. You can make it 30 students as well, 3 students, and find out total, average, and grade. Fine. This is what we are going to try. The program will be a little lengthy. All of you please check nicely. So in this case, I am keeping the structure outside the main function and defining the structure in the name of students. So struct students. Now I have to specify roll number. So I am taking here RN for roll number. Then 5 subject. So 5 subject in the sense I can take M1, right? Copying and pasting for M2, M3, M4, M5. So these are the 5 variables. I need to change them. So done. Then total I have taken, float, average I have taken from before. So character, grade, I am taking here a grade variable. Okay. So this is what the structure I define here with how many variables? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 variables I have taken the structure students. Now I have to create the object of structure. So in this case the structure name is students. So let me students. S is the structure, the object of student structure. Now I have to input, as my question is saying, to input the values of students like roll number and marks. So I have to specify here printf enter marks, or you can write here enter details of how many students, 3 students. Okay, the details all of you knows that I have to give roll number as well as 5 marks. So now I have to take here one more variable for index, as there are 3 students. So how can I do for 3 students? I have to take here s1 comma s2 comma s3. Either this way I can do, or I can do it how? Now I can take a array variable. In spite of taking so many objects, I can take here array variable s of 3, s1 of 3, or I can do it s of 3 as well. Fine. S of 3 means the S of 0, S of 1 and S of 2 it become. So I have to take an index variable. So so enter details of 3 students, the statement is saying. Then I equal to 0, I less than 3 and I plus plus maybe to continue the loop thrice. So when it continue, it will ask the scanf statement we need to specify for how many students? 3 students. So we have to make here the details like %d for roll number, %d for first mark, %d for second mark, %d for fourth mark, %d for 5 mark. Okay, I think it is not done. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more we need to make this. So these are the %d I specified for roll number and 5 subjects, comma, I need to make sure ampersand sign, then s of I, comma, sorry, dot, roll number, that is Rn. I can specify same way. I can copy this for rest of the things, for rest of the subject, like s of I of m1, comma, s of I of m2, comma, s of I of m3, comma. Hope all of you are understanding the concept, because as we are having so many subjects, 5 subjects, so we need to specify like this. Fine, from roll number to mark all these marks. So in between we need to find out the total as well. So s of I, always array variable we are going to use s of I dot tot equal to all this I need to specify, all this I need to specify. So I'm just copying so that I need to write less. So it will become how s of I dot m1 plus s of I dot m2 plus s of I dot m3. Here I can make plus s of I4, then I can make your plus s of I dot m5. Fine. All 5 subjects total get finded out, and it gets stored in the array variable s of I dot dot. This is for the first student, it is done as the value of I is 0 at first. Same way I can do s of I dot average equal to s of I dot tot divided 5. Done. Now we need to find out the grade. So as we did before, so we have to check with, for grade we need to use if statement. So if s of I dot average is greater than 80, then we can specify here s of I dot grade, that is gr variable, equal to, I can give it in double quote, single quote, sorry, a, the grade is a. So which I am copying and pasting for others. So here I can specify else if it is greater than, I can make here greater than equal to, so greater than what, equal to 70, and I can specify here and s of I dot avg less than how much, 80. So that will become what, a b. Fine. Same way I can specify some more grade as well, that is c. Grade for what, greater than 60 and 80. So these things all of you will understand, because already all of us have done before. So we can specify here for rest like 50. Here I can specify less than 60. So it will become B grade. Otherwise, let make the student 12. So I can need not to write this, only else, and I can specify here F stands for 12. So Now let's print all this. Whatever we found, the job is already done. So we need to print it. And for printing, we need the loop again. So I'm just copying this for faster writing. So for I equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, then I can use here in place of scanf, we can write here printed slash n for new line. Then I can specify here total hyphen percent %d, and then I can give average hyphen percent %f. Then we can specify here grade, that is percent %c, and other things we can remove simply. So s of I ampersand sign we can remove. So here I can specify total, s of I, here we can specify average, then other things we can remove simply, and here we can give grade at last, that is GR. Fine, and it has to be within the loop. So keep it within loop. The job is done. Let's check by compiling the program whether it is working or nicely or not. So running the program, and I have to provide, there is one mistake I am getting, int n3. So I forget to give here semicolon in some places. So specify. Now let's run the program and check. Yes, it is asking the details of 3 students. So all of you know the details is how na roll number and marks in 5 subjects. Okay, so this is the marks for 5 subjects for the first student. Then same with second roll number, then marks of 5 subjects. Just roughly I am feeding the numbers. Third students, marks of 5 subjects. Fine, the job is done. Let's enter to see the result. See, the results are coming very nicely, that this is for first students, total, average and grade, second students and third students. So this is how the array can be used in structure. So in this case we can say that array with structure. Fine. Hope all of you understood the concept nicely. Thank you.